Hey, dear members of the Soul and Love Stories family. Today we're taking you to the vibrant autumn of Louisville, where a small gesture of kindness ignites a love that heals hidden scars. Get ready for Callie, Jake, and Margaret's unforgettable journey in a poor waitress fed, a homeless man just for her grandma's birthday, but found out he's a millionaire. Let's dive into this cozy, Kentucky-flavored rom-com, brimming with cornbread, burgoo, and surprising bonds. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to savor every heartfelt story, and please share your city in the comments so we know where you're joining us from. Let's step into this tale. In Louisville, Kentucky, a crisp fall afternoon hums with the scent of bourbon pie and the distant clatter of horse carriages from downtown. Bluegrass Diner, where Callie Miller waits tables, buzzes with the laughter of patrons and the sharp aroma of freshly roasted coffee. At 27, Callie weaves through the tables, her green uniform skirt slightly wrinkled, but her smile as bright as the spotlight at Churchill Downs. "Who's up for more cornbread?" she calls, holding up a tray of golden squares, prompting a middle-aged man to raise his hand like an eager kid in class. Callie's the kind of person who makes you order an extra side just to hear her stories about the stray cat she feeds behind the diner or how her 90-year-old grandma, Margaret, taught her to make proper Kentucky cornbread. But last night, as she wiped down tables after closing, she paused to watch an elderly couple share a plate of burgoo sandwich, their hands intertwined. She sighed, thinking, "Love's not for folks stuck scrubbing tables." 3 years ago, her ex Todd walked out, calling her too ordinary, just a waitress. She stayed in Louisville for Margaret, who raised her with tales of romance and warm cookies. But sometimes Callie wonders if she's worthy of her own happy ending. Every night after her shift, Callie packs up leftovers, cornbread, a bit of fried chicken, maybe a slice of bourbon pie, and heads to the alley behind the diner. There, Jake, a homeless man with a scruffy beard and a worn coat, sits by a dumpster, reading a tattered book under the streetlight. "Hey, neighbor," Callie says, setting down the bag. "Got some special cornbread today. Don't say I didn't warn you." Jake looks up, his faint smile softening his weathered face. "You're gonna bankrupt me with all this good food, Callie," he says, voice low and warm. She laughs, pretending to check her watch. "Good, 'cause I don't take iOS." That Sunday, Callie joins the potluck at the local church, a Louisville tradition she's loved since childhood. She brings Margaret's cornbread, placing it beside steaming dishes of burgoo and bowls of green beans from other folks. As the crowd sings "My Old Kentucky Home" before digging in, Callie scans the room, seeing families gathered close, and feels a pang in her chest. Margaret's frailer now, often reminiscing about dancing with Callie's granddad under their porch light. "I've got to do something for her," Callie thinks, nibbling a piece of cornbread. She doesn't yet know that her familiar alley, that quiet exchange of leftovers, is about to spark something bigger. A story woven from a paper bag of food, a gentle grin, and a heart waiting to be seen. Fall in Louisville sharpens the air, the trees along the Ohio River blazing red as if cheering for a Kentucky Wildcats basketball game. Callie Miller weaves through the tables at Bluegrass Diner, her tray of cornbread steady despite the weight of long days. Her smile hides the exhaustion, bright enough to charm any patron. Every evening, she packs leftovers for Jake, the homeless man in the alley behind the diner. She's grown used to his quiet nods of thanks, the way he sometimes shares a snippet of life, like the stray dog he spotted in the park, or how sunrise looks brighter from a street corner. "You're a poet of the pavement, Jake," Callie teases, but she notices his eyes light up when she arrives, even if just for a moment. On a Wednesday night after her shift, Callie steps into the alley, a bag of food in hand, and freezes. Todd, her boyfriend, is kissing a coworker, the blonde who flaunts her designer purse at the bar across the street. The bag slips from her grip, bourbon pie crumbling on the pavement. Todd turns, stammering, "Callie, it's not what you think." Her laugh is brittle, voice sharp despite the tremble. "No, Todd, you're right. I'm too plain for this kind of love." She walks away, refusing to let him see her tears, and hurries to her tiny apartment. There, a photo of her grandma Margaret's warm smile on the coffee table is the only thing anchoring her. The next morning, her phone buzzes while she's wiping down tables. Her mom's voice bubbles through, full of excitement. Callie, Margaret's turning 90. She keeps talking about meeting you and your special someone. Can you make it home? We're all looking forward to it. Callie bites her lip. Todd's betrayal still raw. She thinks of Margaret's gentle questions. Have you found someone who makes your heart dance bluegrass? I'll try, Mom, she mumbles. Hanging up, she slumps into a chair, staring out the diner's window to the alley where Jake reads under a streetlight. A boyfriend in a week? How, Grandma, she mutters. That night, Callie brings Jake a steaming portion of burgoo and 2 pieces of cornbread. Instead of leaving, she sits on the curb beside him, the first time she's lingered. Jake, ever pretended to be someone you're not? She asks, half joking. He raises an eyebrow, setting his book down. Sure, I pretend to love cornbread just to keep you happy. Callie laughs, then sighs, spilling the story of Margaret's birthday and the special someone she doesn't have. In a reckless moment, she blurts, What if you played my boyfriend? Just for a weekend, I'll pay you in bourbon pie for a month. She expects him to laugh it off, but Jake looks at her, eyes steady. Deal, Callie, but fair warning, I'm terrible at bluegrass dancing. She blinks, stunned by his agreement. Seriously? You're not scared my family will grill you? He shrugs, a faint smile tugging at his lips. I've got nothing to hide, except maybe that I like your burgoo better than cornbread. Callie stands, heart racing, unsure if she's kicked off a prank or something deeper. She hands him a piece of cornbread. Consider this our contract, fake boyfriend. As she walks away, she doesn't see Jake watching her, his hand tightening on his book, a spark of light breaking through the shadows of his alley. Autumn in Louisville drapes a golden glow over the narrow roads winding to the suburbs, where Margaret's sturdy wooden house sits nestled in a grassy field. Callie Miller rides the bus beside Jake, her bag stuffed with homemade cornbread, her nerves buzzing like a Wildcats fan before a big game. Jake, now clean-shaven and wearing a borrowed button-up from Callie's cousin, looks less like a drifter, but still carries an air of mystery. Hey, fake boyfriend, Callie whispers, handing him a crumpled note. Our love dossier, loves burgoo, hates karaoke, met when you ordered bourbon pie? Jake scans it, eyebrow raised. You forgot to mention I'm a terrible bluegrass dancer. Callie laughs, but her heart skips as the bus pulls up to Margaret's house. To prepare for their charade, Callie and Jake spent a week rehearsing at Bluegrass Diner after hours. She taught him to call her Cal for authenticity, while he spun fake tales of their first date, like when he accidentally spilled coffee on her skirt. You're a natural, Jake, Callie said, but she noticed he held her gaze longer than the script required, as if memorizing something beyond their lines. Now, stepping off the bus, she wonders if she's ready for this performance, or if the stage is shifting beneath her. Inside Margaret's home, the family gathers in the living room, the scent of pine and fresh cookies wafting through. Callie introduces, This is Jake, my boyfriend. Margaret, her silver hair glowing under the lamplight, eyes sharp as a hawk's, takes Jake's hand with a grin. Well, young man, can you make cornbread, or are you just good at eating it? Jake's low voice carries a playful warmth. I'm a pro at eating, ma'am, but I'm willing to learn the rest. The room erupts in laughter, but Callie catches Margaret's sidelong glance at Jake, as if she senses he's more than a diner boyfriend. That evening, the family huddles around the TV, cheering for the Kentucky Wildcats basketball game, hollering with every basket. Jake surprises everyone, chiming in with savvy comments on the team's strategy, like a Louisville native. Callie's Uncle Tom nods approvingly. This guy's all right. After the game, Callie drags Jake to the kitchen to prep burgoo for Margaret's birthday feast. He rolls up his sleeves, chopping onions with startling skill, adding spices without glancing at a recipe. Learned to cook on the street, did you? Callie teases, stirring the pot. Jake's smile softens. Made it for my mom once. Burgoo was her favorite. Callie pauses, a quiet warmth settling over her, like the steam rising from the stew. Later, Margaret pulls Callie onto the porch, moonlight filtering through the maple trees. Your granddad won my heart with nothing but honesty and a pair of worn-out shoes, she says, eyes twinkling. Your Jake's got that same look, but I'd bet my biscuits he's no ordinary cornbread fan. Callie forces a chuckle. Grandma, you've been watching too many Hallmark movies. but doubt creeps in. Who is Jake, really? Back inside, she sees him with her young cousin, teaching the boy to fold a paper airplane, his smile gentle as the alley streetlight. Callie lingers in the doorway, heart pounding, unsure if she's still playing a part or tumbling into something truer than any script. Autumn in Louisville turns chilly, the breeze sweeping through the fields behind Margaret's house, carrying the scent of hay and fresh cookies from the kitchen. Callie Miller stands in the living room, her heart pounding as she watches Jake play checkers with her young cousin, his smile lighting up the space like the street lamp at the Bluegrass Diner's alley. Yesterday's birthday party for Margaret was a hit. The family roared with laughter when Jake shared their fake dating story, how he accidentally dropped cornbread into Callie's coffee, and Margaret hugged him, declaring, "You're the best birthday gift, Jake." Yet Callie feels a strange tide rising within her, as if the line between their script and reality is blurring. That morning, as Callie helps Margaret tidy up, the living room TV flickers on. Margaret, with her habit of catching local news to make sure the world's still spinning, flips to a business channel. A report blares. Jacob Sterling, CEO of Sterling Ventures, vanished after fraud allegations tied to a partner. The company faces collapse. Callie freezes, her rag hovering over the table, eyes locked on the screen. The man in the photo, neat hair, tailored suit, has Jake's unmistakable eyes. She turns to Margaret, whispering, "You knew, didn't you?" Margaret shrugs, a sly grin spreading. "I just thought he washed dishes too well for a street wanderer." Callie pulls Jake to the porch, where autumn sunlight filters through red maples. "Jacob Sterling?" she asks, voice trembling. Jake lowers his gaze, not denying it. "I wasn't running, Callie. My closest partner betrayed me, nearly sank my company. I needed time to gather evidence, to figure out who I was without it all." His eyes meet hers, earnest. "But everything with you, every burgoo dinner, every laugh, it was real." Callie shakes her head, tears spilling. "Real? Like Todd swearing he loved me before kissing someone else? I thought you were different, Jake, but I'm just a fool who fell for another act." She storms inside, hiding the ache in her chest, like she's been hit by a wildcat's fastball. Jake calls after her, but she raises a hand to stop him. "Leave, Jake. I don't need a CEO or a drifter. I need someone who doesn't make me feel like I'm not enough." He stands frozen, then pulls a cookie from his pocket, the kind she gave him in the alley, and sets it on the porch bench. Beneath it, he scribbles, "I never pretended with you." Through the window, Callie watches him walk away, his figure fading down the road toward town. Inside, Margaret takes Callie's hand, her voice soft. "Don't let fear rob you of a good man, sweetheart. I saw how he looked at you, like your granddad looked at me when we danced bluegrass on this porch." Callie clings to her, tears soaking Margaret's sweater, her mind a tangle of doubt. She thinks of the alley, the bags of leftovers, Jake's grin when she called him neighbor. She doesn't know if she shut the right door or the wrong one, but the cookie on the bench sits there, a question lingering unanswered. Her thoughts drift to Louisville's quieter corners, to the Ohio River's steady flow, to the Wildcats' games that glue the town together. She wonders if trust, like a good burgoo recipe, needs time to simmer. Margaret hums a tune, maybe My Old Kentucky Home, and Callie feels the weight of choice pressing down, as heavy and hopeful as the autumn light. Autumn in Louisville gives way to cooler days, but sunlight still spills through the windows of Bluegrass Diner, where Callie Miller wipes tables with a forced smile. The cookie Jake left on the porch bench at Margaret's house now sits in a tin on her kitchen shelf, next to his scrawled note. "I never pretended with you." Callie tries to stick to her routine, but every time she passes the alley behind the diner, her eyes linger on the spot where Jake used to sit, her heart heavy, as if the Kentucky Wildcats just lost a nail-biter. A week later, Callie gets a video from her Uncle Tom. It's Jake, standing outside a Louisville law office, his deep voice steady through her phone. "I'm not good with fancy words, Callie. I walked away from my company because I lost trust in everything. But you showed me kindness doesn't need a title. Every moment with you, from bags of cornbread to pots of burgoo, was real. My only regret is not telling you sooner." Callie watches it on repeat, tears streaming down her face. She thinks of Margaret's words, "Don't let fear make you miss a good man." Though Margaret's birthday has passed, Callie wants to make up for it with something special. She plans a belated party in the backyard, just family and favorites. Cornbread, burgoo, bourbon pie. As she wrestles with an old wooden table in the yard, wobbly and ready to collapse, a familiar figure appears. Jake, in a plain button-up, holds a toolbox. "Heard you needed a table fixed," he says, his faint smile disarming. Callie blinks, forcing a steady tone. "What? No CEO gigs left? Table repair pays peanuts, you know." Jake laughs, a warm rumble. "I'd rather do this if it means being near you." They work on the table together, Jake hammering nails with endearing clumsiness, while Callie teases, "Spill burgoo sauce on this, and you're done for." But her grin fades when he opens up. He confronted his partner, cleared his company's name, and came back to Louisville for her. "I don't want to be the girl in a fairy tale, Jake," she says, voice shaky. "I'm scared if I love you, I'll end up left behind, like with Todd." Jake places his hand over hers, gentle but firm. "I can't promise you the world, Cal, but I promise to eat your cornbread every day, whether you're waiting tables or chasing dreams." That night, the belated party glows under string lights in the yard. Margaret raises a glass of apple cider, winking at Jake. "I knew you weren't a drifter from the start. Nobody folds napkins that well." The family bursts into laughter, but Callie pulls Jake to the alley behind the diner, their first meeting spot. Under the streetlight, she hands him a bag of cornbread. "Fake boyfriend contracts expired. But if you're up for it, we can start for real. Right here." Jake takes her hand, whispering, "I'm in, Cal, though I still like burgoo better." Callie laughs, wrapping her arms around him, her heart dancing like a bluegrass tune under Louisville's moon. She feels the city's pulse, the Ohio River's quiet flow, the echo of Wildcats' cheers, the warmth of potlucks and porch swings. Jake's not just a man from the alley or a suit on TV. He's the one who saw her, truly. As they stand together, Callie knows love isn't a perfect recipe. It's a shared plate, a clumsy dance, a promise to show up, no matter the season. The next autumn in Louisville shines brighter than ever, as if the whole city is celebrating with Callie Miller. Margaret's backyard glows with twinkling string lights and wildflower bouquets, transforming it into a slice of Kentucky magic. Callie, in a simple white wedding dress, stands before a mirror, grinning as Margaret pins a flower in her hair. "Grandma, you sure I don't look like an oversweet bourbon pie?" Callie asks. Margaret winks. "Sweetheart, Jake'll gobble up that pie, sweet or not." The ceremony unfolds under golden sunlight, a local bluegrass band strumming My Old Kentucky Home, its melody a blessing from Louisville itself. Family and friends settle into wooden chairs, some clutching homemade jars of burgoo, true to Kentucky potluck style. Jake waits at the aisle's end, not in a fancy suit but a green button-up, his smile the same one that stole Callie's heart in the diner's alley. As she approaches, he whispers, "You're prettier than any plate of cornbread, Cal." Callie laughs, pinching his arm. "Watch it, Sterling. I still know how to swing a burgoo ladle." They exchange vows before the crowd. Callie's voice trembles. "Jake, you were just my alley neighbor, but you taught me love doesn't need to be perfect, just real." Jake holds her hand, eyes gleaming. "Cal, you gave me a reason to trust the world again. I promise to stay by you, whether we're eating cornbread or wiping tables." Applause erupts, a few shouting, "Go Wildcats!" like they're at a basketball game, making Callie laugh through tears. Margaret rises, lifting a glass of apple cider, her voice booming. "I knew that boy wasn't a drifter. Nobody eats my cookies that fast." The yard roars with laughter, and Callie hugs her, whispering, "Thank you for always being right." As the band strikes up a lively bluegrass tune, Jake pulls Callie to dance, clumsy but joyful. "Told you I'm a lousy dancer," he says. Callie grins. "Good, 'cause I'm not aiming for any trophies." The reception ends under a moonlit field, folks sharing bourbon pie and swapping Louisville stories. Callie looks at Jake, no longer seeing a homeless man or a CEO, but the person who chose her, scars, smiles, and all. She thinks of the alley behind Bluegrass Diner, where a bag of leftovers led her here. Love, she realizes, isn't a big house or a perfect plan. It's a shared plate of cornbread, a stumbling dance, a heart brave enough to open slowly. Thank you for joining us on this heartwarming journey with Callie, Jake, and Margaret under the glowing autumn skies of Louisville on the Soul and Love Stories channel. Share your thoughts about their cozy, burgoo-filled rom-com in the comments below. And don't forget to leave a love to send wishes for every heart to find its home. If you believe a bag of cornbread and a kind smile can change everything, hit the like button and share this story with your friends. To keep enjoying touching and meaningful tales, subscribe to our channel and join us in spreading warmth and connection. Let's cherish life's simple, beautiful moments together.